to start talking about graphing circles on a coordinate plane. So last year in algebra, you all learned how to graph a line, the most basic type of shape you can draw. A two-dimensional shape would be a line. And when you learn how to graph a line, you learn the equation of a line. And the equation of a line is y equals mx plus b. However, a circle has a different type of an equation, and it has different parts. So when we talk about the word equation of a line, y equals mx plus b, in order to graph a line, we need to know two pieces of information. We need to know what the slope was, and we need to know what the y-intercept was. When we're graphing a circle, the things we need to know are different. In order to graph a circle, the two important pieces of information I need to know what the center is. If I can write, let's see, center. And I need to know what the radius is. If I can determine the center and the radius, I'm good to go. I can graph a circle. So an equation of a circle is much different, obviously, than y equals mx plus b, because y equals mx plus b represents a line. So an equation of a circle, my equation is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. So in this equation, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared, that's the equation of a circle. You technically don't have to have this equation memorized. I will always give it to you. But you do need to know that the center is h comma k, and my radius is r. So notice if I were to take to find the radius, I would take this number and I would just square root it to get my r value. And notice my center hk, well, h is here and k is here. So it's whatever the value next to x is my x value in my center, and whatever the value next to y is the y value in my center. One thing you need to pay very close attention to, notice it says minus h and minus k, because your center is always the opposite of whatever the values are in your equation, because it's negative h and negative k. So just keep that in mind, that h and k, your center, is actually always the opposite. So if we come down and we look at this first example, it says find the center and the radius. Okay, center and radius. So my center is the opposite of x and the opposite of y, so it would be 2, 1, because that's h and k. And my radius is the square root of that number. So the square root of 36 is 6. If we go down and we look at number 2, my center and my radius. My center is the opposite of these values. So negative 3, 5. And my radius is the square root of that number, so 4. If we go and we do number 3, my center is negative 2, negative 2, and my radius is 9. If the problem obviously asked me for what the diameter was, well, then I would just say 9 times 2, which is 18. So my diameter in number 3 would be 18. So let's look at number 4. Notice there's no number next to x and there's no number next to y. So what does that mean h and k are? Well, since there's no number, that just means there's 0. So my center is at the origin, and my radius is 5. So I want you to go ahead and pause this video, and I want you to do number 5 and number 6 on your own. And I'm just going to keep going. I have full faith that hopefully we figure those ones out. So let's now talk about steps for graphing. So steps for graphing. So go ahead and highlight that for me, please. Graphing a circle you're going to love. It's super easy. Step 1, find the center. Step 2, find the radius. Step 3, plot the radius. Plot the center. And my step 4 is apply radius in 4 directions. Those 4 directions are up, down, left, and right. So the first thing I'm going to do is find the center, and then I'm going to find the radius. These first 2 steps right here, I did just on all of those problems above, 1 through 6 above, we found the center, we found the radius. I'm now going to plot the center, and then I'm going to apply the radius in 4 directions. So let's go ahead and look at this first problem. First thing I need to do is find the center and find the radius. What's my center? 2, 1. What's my radius? 2. So, okay, I'm now going to plot my center 2, 1. I'm going to plot a point. I'm now going to apply my radius. So what I mean by that, I'm on my center. I'm going to apply my radius. I'm going to go 2 to the right and plot a point. I'm going to go 2 up from my center and plot a point. I'm going to go 2 to the left and plot a point. And I'm going to go 2 down and plot a point. I'm just applying my radius in 4 directions. And I will change my color so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go 2 units to the right and plot a point. 2 units up and plot a point, 2 units to the left and plot a point, 2 units down and plot a point. I'm going at 2 units because that's what my radius tells me to do. So here's where it gets fun, because now I have to try to make a circle out of those 4 dots. And using a stylus on an iPad is a lot harder actually than to do this by hand. But that's pretty darn good. Nice work. So, your goal, you gotta make some kind of circle. You are not allowed to do this. That, ladies and gentlemen, is not a circle. So make sure your arcs are curved and it looks like a circle. I'm much better at this actually than doing it on paper. So let's go on to the next one. First thing I'm gonna do, find the center, find the radius. What's my center? 1, -2, because it's always the opposite. My radius, I don't even know why I put ordered pair symbols on my radius. What's my radius? 4. So now I'm going to apply my center, which is 1, -2. And now I'm going to go 4 units in all 4 directions. So 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right, plot a point. 1, 2, 3, 4 up, plot a point. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the left, plot a point. 1, 2, 3, 4 down, plot a point. I have my 4 dots. I'm now going to try to make a circle. They end up looking like blobs, but that's all right. So what I need from you now is I want you to go ahead and, so you can stop this video because it's about to end. You're going to flip this piece of paper over and you're going to practice those problems on the back. And when you finish practicing those problems on the back, you can read the next process, to keep going from where we go from there.